Sleepy Joe, but now they can call me Fat Man.
What up? Welcome back. It's Bones. And today we're going to have another little discussion. Now, this one will be about if Todd McFarlane hates women. Now, of course, this stems off from the interview that McFarlane recently did with Shardamus. Now, of course, as always, I think people are blowing this way out of proportion, but I do want to explain a couple of things that maybe people don't understand. And that is, first, let's start off with McFarlane. Now, does McFarlane hate women? I really doubt it, being as how he has a beautiful wife, beautiful children. And of course, we know that McFarlane is a trailblazer. He has built himself up from nothing. And of course, like me, he likes to lead the way. He does not like to follow. He likes to make his own path. So, of course, McFarlane's first major character is Spawn, African-American character. And some of his best characters have been female, such as Angela, which sadly he lost the rights to due to the thing with gay men and Marvel and all that. But that's another video. Of course, he also has She-Spawn, Jessica Priest, which is another one of his more popular characters. So I really doubt it if McFarlane dislikes women. Now, of course, this is not a far stretch, because even though I am a real man, even though there's not many of us left, but I do love women, I do appreciate women. I think that they are beautiful creatures that we should protect and appreciate. Now, this does not mean that that makes me better than anybody or more powerful than anybody, even though it does. But I know that this world is a beautiful world, and there are all kinds of people, all kinds of variety in people's attitudes and beliefs. But I do think we should be able to respect everybody's right to their own opinions. So no, I do not think McFarlane hates women. So he is obviously not a sexist. So now the next thing to talk about is, why will he not make female figures? And of course, his comments in the interview. Now, basically what you have to understand is that McFarlane is basing all of his statements, and I'm 90% sure of this, on figure sales. It doesn't have anything to do on if he does not like women or he doesn't like female characters. It only has to do on figure sales and what he sees that actually sells in the toy aisles. Now, people are starting to talk smack and say that, oh, but McFarlane's trying to sell it to us, the collectors. Look, he's not basing his ideas only on this line. He's actually basing it on 30 years of experience of selling figures. Now, he knows he's not made as many female figures as he has male figures, but that shows him what sells and what doesn't. And this goes on with any line. It's not just McFarlane. Let's go ahead and take a look at the DC Universe Classics line. And I do have all the waves right here in front of me. Now, if you go down the line, it's basically pure male heroes. You do have some villains in there, but the female figures are far and in between. Now, of course, first you have Harley up there, because by far Harley really gives Batman a run for his money in selling merchandise. This is a true fact. Harley Quinn is getting up there. Now then you go down the row, no more female figures to speak of until you get to Wonder Woman and Artemis. And now, of course, Wonder Woman is by far one of the best-selling figures. She's from the Trinity of DC, and everybody knows her. So, of course, she got the next spot. And then you move down, and there is no more female figures until you get to Big Barda. Right? Now, even though Mattel messed up this figure because they made her too small, it just goes to show you how many male figures get sold in between they add in a female figure. Now, this is DC Universe Classics, and of course, that was a line a couple years back, right? So Todd is talking about his experiences from back in the day up until now. Now, of course, with Warner Brothers being the way they are right now, they don't want guns. They don't want females that are, showing any type of skin. And this really puts a damper on McFarlane's ability to release any female figures that we would like, right? Because I want a big Barda. I actually want a big Barda that's big. But what I would really like is the bikini version of Big Barda. But we're not going to get that. There's no way we're going to get that. We're going to get the armored up version because that's what Warner Brother wants right now. So how does Poison Ivy dress? Well, she's usually, barely wearing any clothes. Are we going to be able to get that? I seriously doubt it. Now, can McFarlane work his way around and try and give us a version of Poison Ivy? Of course. But this goes for a lot of female figures. You have Black Canary, you have Starfire, and basically all these figures have to be done slowly and correctly because they're not going to be able to be in their traditional costumes. Zatanna's another one. But of course, all these figures are the same ones that are always made. The same female characters always come up, and we always eventually end up getting a version of them. Now, if we patiently wait, I'm sure we'll start getting some of those other characters, but the way we're going to get them might not be exactly the way we want them, and that's not completely McFarlane's fault. He has to work around what Warner Brothers wants or will sign off on, and that's what we're going to end up getting. Now, McFarlane is starting to release a little bit more figures. We are going to be getting the Syndicate Superwoman, so that's going to be another female figure. But of course, he has to put out what he thinks is going to sell. Now, another complaint during the interview was the serial killer comment that he made. Now, let me just say that if you've ever studied serial killers or you've ever read up on them like I have, you can find out some interesting facts about them. Now, if you don't know, go ahead and look up serial killers taking Barbies and cutting off their heads and tying them up. It's a real thing. Go look it up. So when McFarlane was talking, he wasn't necessarily saying that a little boy that wants a female character is going to be a serial killer. He was more stating the fact that 9 out of 10 times a boy is going to want a male hero character or a monster or a robot or an army character. That's what little boys want. Now, will there be a percentage of little boys that would want a female character? Of course there are, but it's a small percentage. And it's so small a percentage that hopefully they're not going to be a serial killer. And that's all he was making a joke at. Now, was it really funny? Not really. I mean, got a few chuckles out of it. But it's not the thing that people are trying to put on McFarlane. Like that he was, saying one thing, but in all actuality, he was not trying to say that at all. All he was talking about was sales numbers. That more often than not, boys want boy toys. And that's it. It's the way it is. It's all he was talking about. It wasn't about his personal feelings about boys that want girl toys. It wasn't anything like that. And people are just trying to make up stories that are not even true. Now, do I think we need more female characters? Yes, I do. Now, do I think times have changed and we have gotten to a point where female characters, the right ones, will sell a little bit more? Of course they have. Now, McFarlane recently put out the Jessica Priest She-Spawn. It's a hot seller right now. Everybody wants it. Everybody's looking for it. I'm pretty sure he's going to get the feedback on how many of those female figures sold. And that's going to give him, a newer idea of what the market is at. Another changing part of the market is that little boys don't actually buy figures. Their parents do. And when you're dealing with a regular random customer going through the toy aisle, they need to see something that they're like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to take that to my son. Or they ask him, do you like this or do you like that? And that's what they're talking about. But there's a rising number of sales that are attributed to the adult collectors. Of course it is. That's, not disputed or anything. If you see another channel, what's it called? Spectre Creative, which is Scott Knightlick. Now, he was the brand manager on DC Universe Classics, and he actually has the same point of view as McFarlane. He says that boys' toys sell to boys and girls' toys sell to girls. Now, people never came after him because for saying that, and his thought process is the same as McFarlane's. It's an older thought process. Now it's the future. Now we can make a change. Now with our money and our input, we can put it out there that McFarlane, we would like to see more female characters. And the way we do this is that when they're released, and of course they have to be figures that we actually want, we do it with our money by how many figures are sold of these characters. And that really is what we should be looking at. I want a community. I want us as a group to be able to have enough strength to show McFarlane or any other toy company that we want to what actually sells and what people actually want, and for us to have the power to influence all of that. That would be awesome to me. That's like something I've been trying to do from day one, is to make a community of collectors that actually have some say in what figures we get. So no, McFarlane does not hate females. McFarlane does not think little kids are going to be serial killers. And McFarlane is just looking at the bottom line, which is sales. And so is Warner Brothers. They're just looking at sales. They could care less of what McFarlane puts out as long as it sells. So we should trust McFarlane and what he's doing, but we should also put our word out there of what we would like and what we expect from him. Now, he has been doing some changes. If you notice the articulation in the newer figures, the plastic that he's using, the getting away from the ball ankle joints and moving into the sculpted ankle joints, all of that stuff is because of the things we say. McFarlane obviously saw what we said about the side eye, and he said he's going to back off on that. So that shows you the power that we do have. Let's not fight. Let's not argue. Let's use our voices as a positive thing, and don't try to bring people down or try and destroy people. I'm just not into that. We got enough jelly brains out there that make a big thing out of nothing, when what we should really be doing is being positive and moving forward. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.